Time for a quick catch up. This is the end of term 1 of All Quiet on the Western Front. Only a 3-couplet turn, so I think the Germans would have liked at least one more, but you can see from the initial starting point in the south where they made one of their concerted drives, they managed to drive right up through. They captured Nancy. The fortress of Toul it would have gone on if there'd been one more couplet. We've just started the HQ activation for turn 2. Done all the reinforcements and replacements, so the Stoss are pretty much back to full strength, having used all of their replacements. I've decided to go back to the original rules regarding strategic movement of HQs, because I was reminded when looking at my notes from many years ago, and I think I even put a post in the Consim World Forum that if you go for the railroad HQ strat option, because you can't railroad over the front line because there's no rail lines, you actually take away a lot of the excitement and dynamic from the game, because you can only really move 1 hex per couplet for your HQs, which means once you've done your initial burst, then any advance is pretty much limited to 1 hex per couplet rate, which takes away a lot of the excitement from the game. So here you can see I've done a strategic movement of an HQ. Now that's inactive, but it does mean that come turn 3 it'll be much better placed to sort of support that drive as it heads west. So yeah, I should have made a note of my previous remarks on that particular solution. So my personal recommendation would be to pretty much stick with the rules as written there. Strat move up to the limits that you're allowed. I think it's two German while they are the initiative player, and 1 each for the Allies. Yeah, so lesson learnt there, I think. My memory failed me. You can see the French have been forced to pull back. They've had pretty serious losses. They've done their replacements, and in Alsace there's still a number of dead French divisions. Essentially, you can imagine Alsace as like an off-map hospital. You've got to keep 36 factors there, be they from eliminated or fresh divisions. So this allows you to essentially send some of the destroyed units to Alsace eliminated, and that then releases some of the reserves. So the French I think they can move about 5 divisions out of there this term, which will be needed to patch up some of the mess. They've been forced to activate one of their HQs just to give them some sort of flexibility for movement, and also converting losses into retreats, try and hold. The 1st American divisions have just appeared, and there is an HQ as well there, which I think there should be a strat move marker on that. I'll correct that in a minute. And the other main drive for the Germans was around here. This is Rheims, I think. Yeah, so Rheims actually fell due to attrition because it was fully surrounded. Only fortresses can support themselves and the units stacked therein if they're isolated, and Rheims isn't a fort, so that went. So they've lost an A and a B at the moment, and the French are about to lose Toul as well, which would be another B. Morale is currently on 28, so it's looking a bit scary. The British trying to keep the defence honest, launching an attack around here to put some pressure on the German line, and also up at the north end. They've been attacking here. You can see there's still a number of damaged German divisions. Those are the static divisions trying to hold this line. The attacks have been done by the Canadians primarily, supported by tanks and some of the better British divisions. You can only replace one Canadian step per turn, so they're a bit of a spent force. They can maybe do one more assault, and then they'll have to rest up for a while. But there has been some pressure on the Germans there, and all of the turn 2 reinforcements are going to be heading that way. In fact, they've even activated an HQ just to give them a couple of barrages to try and break up some of those attacks. So that's the end of turn 1 going into turn 2. I'm just about to start the air superiority. Got to do the air and then crack on with the operations.